Hello, kiddies. This is Alice Cooper, and you're listening to the Heavy Demons Radio Show. Okay, hello?
Hello, Alice. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Quite fine, thank you. A little bit of heat here in Italy.
Well, but when it gets hot there, it's pretty humid, I'll bet.
Yeah, this is a weird weather for Italy. So, how are you doing?
We're doing great. We have a day off in Florida today. We're in Jacksonville, Florida with a day off, and then tomorrow we do a show, and then Miami after that, and then we got 2 or 3 shows, and then I go rehearse with the Hollywood Vampires.
Yeah, and what are you up to? Are you going to record something with the Hollywood Vampires in the future?
Actually, no. The album is all done. The album's all finished, and we're just rehearsing now. We're doing 3 shows coming up. It'll be Johnny Depp and Joe Perry, Duff McKagan from Guns N' Roses, and Matt Sorum from Guns N' Roses, and then a bunch of other people are going to be up. We've got, I think we don't know who's going to show up in L.A. It could be anybody. We kind of leave it open that anybody that wants to come over and play.
Open session.
Yeah, it's an open show because the album is an album that we got together and we decided to honor all of our dead drunk friends.
Yeah.
All of our friends that we used to drink with that we're still alive and they're dead. So, we decided that we would do a John Lennon song, we would do a Who song for Keith Moon, we would do a song for The Doors, for Jimi Hendrix, for T-Rex, all the guys that were our friends that we used to drink with.
Yeah, and it's quite sad that they can't be with you, of course.
And they were all legends. I mean, they were all really legendary characters. And so, when you get guys like us that survived all that drinking and all the drugs from back then, they survived the 60s and 70s, we are fortunate to be alive, but we all stopped. We all found a time when we had to just stop doing everything. For me, it was 33 years ago I stopped doing everything. Yeah. But every single one that's on the album now, Joe Perry and Johnny Depp and everybody that's out there are sober.
Yeah, of course. And speaking about, unfortunately, we have to speak about sad things. How do you recall working with Wes Craven?
Yes, that was really, Wes was, it's funny because a lot of guys that are in the horror business are always the funniest guys. Yeah. They're always the guys, they're not creepy, they're not scary. No. Wes Craven was always laughing. John Carpenter was always laughing. It was all, I think that they understood that a lot of horror was based in comedy.
Yeah.
And so when I think of Wes Craven, I always think of him smiling and laughing. And that's a good way to think of him. Even though his, movies were very frightening and scary, he was always a very, very funny guy. And most of the guys that I met, like Vincent Price and people like that, they were always funny, happy guys.
Yeah, and talking about funny things, we met twice personally here in Italy, and we talked about, remember the movie Monster Dog?
Yes.
And do you remember something funny about that movie?
Well, the funny thing about that was, for me, was that I was the only one on the whole set that didn't smoke.
Yeah.
And everybody smoked. And in Spain, they smoked this black tobacco. So there were scenes when they would bring in fog machines, right?
Yeah.
And I said, why do you need fog machines? There's enough smoke here from everybody.
Smoke machines.
When I got home, I opened up my suitcase, and my wife threw all my clothes away.
Yeah.
She says, every one of your clothes smells like tobacco. I mean, black tobacco. And because for a month, I was around it all day, and it just like seeped into my clothes. No, another funny thing about that movie was every single person in the cast was either British or American.
Okay.
And when we watched the movie, when we finally got our copy of the movie, it was overdubbed in a broken English.
Yeah.
So, my voice was like, "Hey, what's going on here? I don't know what's going on. Hey." And it wasn't my voice. It was somebody that really couldn't speak English very well.
Yeah.
Everybody had their voice dubbed over.
Yeah, because
it was very, very bizarre.
The production was half Spanish and half Italian.
Yeah, it was like if you did a movie and you were Italian, right?
Yeah.
And you did it in perfect Italian, and then somebody came in and did your voice in a bad Italian.
Yeah. That's quite weird.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all.
And with my band, The Mugshots, I have had the luck to work with Dick Wagner.
Ah, good. Dick was one of the great writers and guitar players that I ever worked with. I wrote more hits with him than I did with anybody.
Yeah. You remember great times working with him.
Yeah, Dick was great. I mean, Dick was very much. You see, I'm a very positive, optimistic person.
Yeah.
To me, I don't care what happens. I'll find the sunshine somewhere in that problem. I'll find the humor in it or something. Everything in Dick was like, oh no, this is never gonna work, and he was like Eeyore, it was always, oh, this is never gonna happen. This is it, and he was the eternal pessimist.
Yeah,
and I was the eternal optimist. So it kind of worked together, though.
You balanced it.
Yeah, I guess so.
And now, in November, you are going to come over to Italy with Motley Crue.
Yes.
And what shall the audience expect from your show?
Well, when we're over there, we do, we do the full-out Alice Cooper show.
Mm-hmm.
I have a new guitar player that I don't think has played Italy with us yet, named Nita Strauss,
mm-hmm.
Hurricane Nita Strauss. And we had Orianthi the last time.
Yeah,
now we have this other girl named Nita Strauss, who is much more of a shredder, total shred guitar player. I mean, she plays like, Dave Mustaine.
Yeah.
And then we have Ryan Roxy that plays rock and roll guitar. So it's a really nice mix of two different styles of guitar playing. And we've gotten nothing but great reviews through. We've done, I think, over 150 shows now with Motley Crue.
Yeah, and are you planning something to record as Alice Cooper in the future?
Well, we record it every single night. So if there is a plan to record the show, it's already recorded. Because almost every single night, this band is so tight that there's never a mistake on stage.
Yeah.
I mean, I listen almost to every tape, and it sounds perfect every night.
Yeah, and as in the studio, are there any projects going on for a forthcoming album?
Well, we've already, we've done the Hollywood Vampires
Yes.
album, and that's all done. And McCartney's on it, Paul McCartney's on it, and Dave Grohl and Brian Johnson, and everybody's on this album. Slash and Joe Perry, and that album's coming out September 11th.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I've already started working on my new album, so I'll have another album, getting ready to record another album coming up in the next, I would say, at the beginning of 2016.
Yeah, and one curiosity, do you find any differences between, your European fans and your American fans?
Yeah, I think that the European fans, for me, I think are more loyal. I think that you get more of we have fans in Italy, fans in Germany, fans in England that were fans in 1970.
Yeah.
And they're still fans, and their children are fans, and now their children are fans. So, 40 years of family fans, and I can almost tell you who's going to be, in the front row almost every night when we play Germany and we play England and we play places like that.
Yeah, that's amazing. So it's loyalty, basically.
Yeah, it's very loyal. And, so they now come as full families. You know, the entire family comes, and you know, it's 10, 15 people.
Yeah. And one final message, greeting to the Italian fans of Alice Cooper.
I'll tell you what, when we get there, it's going to be, we do an all-out show, and then Motley Crue does an all-out show. So, I mean, it's a 1-2 punch. It's going to be the most exciting show you've seen all year. And so far, that's what the press says. They love the show, and the audience is screaming for more. So we cannot wait to get to Italy.
Yeah, thank you so much, dear Alice. And it's been a pleasure to talk with you. I hope to meet you again in the future.
Yeah, and good luck with your band.